All right. Bingo. All right. I think I got it. All righty then. Well, without further without further delay, let's get this episode started.
Welcome to the Lights, Camera, Rant podcast. Your source for the latest on movie, TV shows, and video games. Get ready for ranting, raving, and reviewing. Here is your host, Lee.
Good morning, good evening, good night, good whatever time you're listening or watching this podcast. Welcome to Lights, Camera, Rant. And this will be the very first time that we're currently streaming on Facebook, Twitch, and YouTube at the same time. So hopefully my lovely mug isn't too blurry for your internet. Well, what we thought we would do is we thought we would try something different and try to make sure that accessibility all across the board. So hopefully you're watching, and if you are, thank you. But if you're just listening, thank you again. So, everybody, as you always know, we get into the news and then we get into the reviews, which this would be the first time in 2 weeks. It would just be a solo episode of just myself because we've had Tommy from Two Sides of the Story podcast jump on, and we've had Carly from the Comic Boys. I'm sorry if I pronounced it wrong again. If you're listening, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. But yeah, so we haven't had a just by myself for nearly a month now. That's crazy. Because even the bonus episode we did with me and Corny, that was another guest one where we looked at the top 2090 sitcoms. So please go check out those episodes. They were great. They were a lot of fun. They were great guests. I can't praise them more highly. And if you haven't, please go check out their show as well. But what we're going to get into this episode. What we're going to get into this episode is we're going to be looking at Black Adam. Did it live up to the hype? Did it also crumble the DC altogether, or it's just in shambles? Did it actually make everything worse? That's the $1 million question. And then we're going to be looking at the latest episode of Star Wars, Andor, which I'll get into that later, but you know what we do. We get the news. So not a lot has happened this past week in so much movies, more so in video games, but let's roll off the top topic. So for any Lucifer fans, Tom Ellis apparently is in talks to play Mr. Fantastic. His name is up there. I think I was just about to say I think he'd be fantastic at the role, but that would probably be too none and point. No, I think for the stature, his height and everything, I think he could definitely pull off being Mr. Fantastic. So I give my praise to him. Another big actor that might be joining the MCU is Sacha Baron Cohen, Borat, who apparently could be very much be joining the Ironheart Disney Plus TV show that's coming up, where he would be playing Mephisto. So for all those people that were like, it's Mephisto, Wanda, it's Mephisto, your prayers are going to be answered most likely for the Ironheart series. because of the fact we're going to get Mephisto apparently in that, and Borat will be playing him. I think depending, I think he could do a really good job, but just how it's going to be, like, he's a character that, what I mean is, like, he shouldn't be a character that's just a one-off. He should be a character that we're going to constantly see. So he should be a big, multiple character. So hopefully he isn't just a one-off and goodbye. And yeah, especially a character, you get someone like of his nature appearing, surely he's going to be sticking around altogether. So fingers crossed for that. But as I said, this is just talk at this stage. Nothing's been confirmed, and not to mention right now with Marvel, anything that's confirmed, we still it's most likely will get delayed or when it's there for a while. So I'm pretty sure Ironheart's Disney Plus TV show release date is at the end of 2023 or it's 2024. So we are going to get Rhea Williams, obviously the main titular character. I think we'll make her appearance as the character in Black Adam. Black Adam. Oh God, because I just saw it. Wakanda Forever. God damn, because I just saw that. I just saw it last night, and the Wakanda Forever trailer was before it. I'm just like watching it, just going, I really can't wait for Black Wakanda Forever. I really can't wait. So yeah, I was watching, going, and that's fantastic. I look forward to it. So, but yes, you'll see that character in Black Panther. Moving on. So, please ignore my dog. Please ignore it. So, what else we're moving on is the fact that apparently She-Hulk. There's a little bit of news. The fact that apparently there was talks to have Edward Norton appear in it and swap out Mark Ruffalo. That would have been really cool if we saw that. But at the same time, you don't want to confuse your audience too much, which the She-Hulk final was. Because, just everything with that final was just mind-boggling. Like, I couldn't believe it. And just watching it, just thinking, holy shit. Like, still a week on, I still can't believe that's the final we got. Like, no one, I said in my last episode, no one could have predicted what was going to happen in that show. Even the most diehard fans, no one's going to be able to predict that. So, look, it would be fantastic if he appeared, but I understand why he didn't. So that I get. But you never know. But moving on. So Marvel Zombies. Now this was a little bit of surprising news I got. I wasn't expecting. So generally with Marvel TV shows, Marvel have been about 6 episodes or 9, just like She-Hulk. But apparently Marvel Zombies will only be 4 episodes. So Marvel Zombies will be its first Disney Plus show that gets an MA rating, which it needs an MA rating. You can't not do it with an MA rating, but only 4 episodes, which I was kind of surprised about. Just watched, I was just like, oh, all right, okay. Like it's only 4 episodes, that's fine. I just hope that they're an hour long. That's the only thing, is I just hope they're an hour long, and it's going to be brutal. And I think if Marvel's going to give this MA rating, they're going to go all in. They're going to like, this is going to be, because we saw it with the Werewolf by Night. See, that was something different that they dabbled in, and it was interesting because that was brutal. But obviously, they could get with the PG rating because of the fact it was black and white. So everyone, this is what I keep telling everybody. Every time someone says, "Oh, Marvel's just came for the PG," and the kids, I'm like, no, Marvel knows that there is the more senior audience. There is the audience that's been growing up ever since 2008, and Marvel knows that, and Marvel wants to cater that to you as well. But obviously, there is some restrictions. But then again, look at Moon Knight. Obviously, it's not pure dark, but you know what I mean. And then if you really want, go look Daredevil. That's brutal as, that's still, still Marvel degree. Ghost Rider, like, it's Marvel is trying to cater to everybody, and they're doing their very best. But that's the thing, is like, if you just be patient, you will get what you're after. It will go on to different things. But yes, Marvel Zombies, 4 episodes, MA rating. So I am absolutely stoked for that. Apparently, also, let's keep jumping on. Speaking of Marvel, this is like a good segue from Marvel, but James Gunn. So James Gunn currently right now, obviously he did Suicide Squad. He's done Peacemaker season 2, and he's jumped over and he's doing the Guardians Galaxy Holiday Special and the Guardians Galaxy 3 to wrap up his trilogy. So, but apparently in the works that he's got another DC project that he is currently working on. No news of what it is or what anything, but apparently he's working on a new DC project, and he's told the fact he's only going to start on it obviously after Guardians Galaxy and after Peacemaker season 2. So you're looking at least 2 years away. Peacemaker season 2 has no release date. I would say the end of 2023 or beginning of 2024, just like what they did with the last season, which was in January. That's where I currently sit. But yeah, it looks like James Gunn is being the DC MVP. Between him and The Rock, the hierarchy of the DC universe is about to change thanks to James Gunn and The Rock. But the thing is, I'm not gutted. I'm not gutted the fact that James Gunn has jumped over to DC. DC needed someone or something to shake it up and actually put it in good direction. So I think all for James Gunn being that man to be in it. So fingers crossed. Also, still seeing. So going back to Marvel, apparently Melina, Black Widow's mum, is going to be in Thunderbolts. Don't ask me why. I understand because of Elena, but I don't get why she's in it. But obviously, we're going to get Thunderbolt Ross played by Harrison Ford, and might get Red Hulk. But yeah, I don't know why. I don't know why she's going to be. I thought she was a one-off character. I was not. I thought she was a one-off character, one and done. Like nothing in that movie went. I really can't wait until we get another Melina appearance. Like that's a character that I would really like to see. When are we going to get that? But yeah, you never know who's going to appear. You never know who's going to appear at all. But yeah, Thunderbolts is shaping up to be very interesting, especially given the fact that who's going to be the main villain? Like, will it be somewhere or no, or is it going to be something different? Because it's basically the Marvel's version of Suicide Squad. So who were they going to go be up against? Tell me in the comments, or send me a DM. Who do you think the Thunderbolts are going to be versing in their big movie if there isn't another flipping delay? But speaking of still Elena, apparently she is going to be appearing in a new Marvel project. Don't know which Marvel project, but she will be appearing before Thunderbolts in a Disney Plus show or movie. There is rumor that she's in talks that she will pop up somewhere. So don't you worry, you will see her before Thunderbolts, essentially, which that doesn't surprise you. She's a very popular character and we need to see more of her. But look, let's jump over to video game news. This past week, we got the Silent Hill remake trailer, which was beautiful. If you haven't already, please go check out Mark My Words. He has done a trailer reaction, his very first one, and he did a very good job. And a lot of what he was feeling, I felt the same way. As I mentioned 3 weeks ago, we have not seen a Silent Hill game since 2012. That's how long. And Silent Hill is a testament to horror video games. It is like the standard barrier. And this remake looks beautiful. Even though the fact has got a release date, it's going to be coming in 2023. Well, hopefully 2023. I was just thinking of another game that was meant to be coming out next year, but currently has no release date, which is the Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic. That was apparently meant to come out next year, but that release date is being completely removed due to internal struggles. But go check that out if you haven't already. Both Ghostbusters Spirits Unleashed dropped this week. Also dropped this week. This past week. This past week. And I will have reviews for you, both of them. I was about to say, well, you would have seen what the news going about Gotham Knights. Oh my god. Like, oh my god. Just oh my god. That's all I gotta say. Oh my god. Anyway, I will have those two reviews for you the next 2 weeks. Ghostbusters Spirits Unleashed and Gotham Knights. Also, due to a small leak, for anyone who's really excited about the Wolverine game that is coming soon, we have a release that they will be coming in the same year as Spider-Man 2 game. So we'll get Spider-Man 2 and we'll get Wolverine in the same year. That is the going leak that we will both get them. If that's indeed the case, hell yeah. I am so up for that and I can't wait. I honestly can't wait for both of them. But especially the Wolverine game, seeing how brutal is that going to be? That's the thing. Like, how brutal is that Wolverine game to be? And who else is going to appear in the game? What other X-Men? I'm very excited. And I'm very excited because the fact it's not being made is by the same people that made the Avengers game, which was just absolutely subpar all together. Another game that dropped this past week that if you haven't already, please go check it out if you have a strong stomach. A game came out called Scorn. This game is something of very flesh kind of how can I put this? It's like it's living tissue. So this game is inspired by, like, have you ever seen Event Horizon? That's probably the best thing. Everything is like flesh orientated, everything, all guns, aliens. It's very grotesque and gore, but that's making its rounds around Twitch. And whoa, I was just looking at the gameplay, and this game is just, I'll be scared and gross at the same time. And if you've seen the trailer for it, you know exactly what I mean. It is a very interesting game. The concept, the bloodiness, but then again, it's something different. It is something different and something to look forward to. So I highly recommend checking out it, even because it's all like that. It's still really good to have a look at. It's something different. And my last bit of news, which for a movie that's apparently getting a sequel, which I was not expecting, apparently Twister 2 is currently in the works. The 90s Twister movie, which I remember in my primary school, they put Twister on in grade 6 and grade 5. I remember thinking, why is this a group movie? There's flying cows and everything, and people are dying and disappearing. But apparently, this is good to watch primary school children. But yes, apparently, Twister 2 is in the works. I don't know how it will work. I don't know what the plot will be. It's obviously just going to be more twisters. There's going to be more twists. It's going to be, coin that. There's going to be more twists in it altogether. There's going to be more twists. So, but yes, for any Twister fans, you might be in luck. That is coming out. So that is the biggest news that has happened in the past week. Now let's flip over to my Star Wars Andor review. So after the massive last week episode, which was high stakes, people were dying left, right, and center, and the gorgeous CGI in that episode was fantastic. I couldn't talk about much of it in my last episode because we covered so much. But Star Wars Andor last week's episode was just fan-freaking-tastic. I really enjoyed that. Just watching the eye, the whole Star Show was beautiful. I'm like, all right, I can, if this was real, I could see why you're seeing it. It's like the Northern Lights almost, but it was fantastic. The whole episode, I'm glad. I did mention, obviously, two or 3 weeks ago, I did mention the fact, why don't we get prep and heist movie episode altogether? No, I'm glad this was a total heist. Was not expecting everybody who did die. However, it was still a really good episode. So we've heard multiple people say, This is an arcs. Build, action. Build, action. Build, action. This is what we're getting through the entire series. Look, I'm not disappointed. Like, I'm not like, oh, that's really annoying. It's kind of what I'm expecting. Obviously, my math is terrible, and that same formula is not going to work towards the end. So we might get build, action, or build, action, which I really hope it's not that one at all. But this week's past episode of Star Wars Andor, it obviously, as you would know, it's done the reset. It's slowing down. We're seeing the aftermath of everything that's happened. And honestly, the CGI of the show is just so good. Please tell me you agree. The CGI is just fantastic, and it's beautiful. It's beautiful to look at, and that's all Star Wars money. It is out freaking standing. I love it. So this episode is very slow. So we see how everyone's reeling about the announcement. You know, we got the good old news channel, everyone going, hello, everybody. There's been an attack on blah, blah, blah. There's been a highway robbery, which all of our characters are starting to react to it. And you see that Luthen obviously looks a bit nervous because he hears everything that's happened. Mon Montha, yeah, Jesus, Mon. I'm leaving it Mon. Don't judge me. Mon. She's a bit nervous about the whole thing because she knows it's Luthen. And we see Cassie already on his way to back home to try and speak to his mother, to try and get out of there, see everything. Because remember, he hasn't been on his home planet since episode 3, since that giant attack, that incursion, if you will. He hasn't been on there since then. So he's gone back to see how everything's gone. It's actually really quite funny. You actually don't, even though this is Andor's show, he doesn't appear in it for the first 20 minutes. The first 20 minutes is of all the other characters going around, reacting to the news and everything, what's going on. And obviously everyone's looking a bit nervous. Even the Empire's a bit nervous. They're ramping up their tight grip on everything right now. All punishments have been increased. That's all going up. All that is going up, and it's just showing the fact that everyone's nervous. Everyone's nervous right now. Something is just beneath the surface, as you can see, and everyone's feeling it. And even Luthen's like, you need money. So this is really what we're going to see, the birth of the rebellion. That's what we're going to see through this. Because things are moving around very, and this episode is just, it's an aftermath episode, to be honest with you. You don't expect anything big. It's just more delegations, more in the background, seeing out what everyone's doing, who survives, who's floating around, coming back and forth. Just basically that's essentially the episode. But it's interesting seeing how nervous everybody is. And then what we do is we get Andor speaking to his mother, trying to get her to leave the planet, leave all together, because he finds out that Tim was the one who ran him out, and all together. It was Tim who ran him out because of it, and caused the incursion. And we get this really sweet moment. with his mom where she says she can't leave, she must stand. And we really do see what happened to Clem, his dad. I wasn't expecting that. That was a bit sad. That was a bit sad when we saw what happened to his dad. When his dad was just trying to do the right thing. And for anyone who's watched the episode, spoilers, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Oh, that was a bit sad. But you can understand why she wants to stay. Andor wants to leave. And even though I feel sorry for the robot, so it's That's probably one of the most gut-wrenching scenes that we get in this episode. You really feel it. You know, he's like, even if I leave, I'll be thinking about you. And she's like, go. And then we get the side comment of go, leave, go, and don't keep chasing your sister. There was nothing in the entire talk that they were talking about that mentioning. He didn't mention anything about his sister. She didn't mention anything about his sister until that point. So that was a really like, don't forget episode 1 that he's searching for his sister. That was like the comment he was trying to make. Like it was trying to remind the audience, don't forget that this plot thread still flying around. But we also, that's very sad. He leaves and he goes on basically a tourist journey with all his money. He picks up some woman which we've never met. Back. He does meet Blix again, but she basically tells him to go flog off. Bad. And then we get him on this desert planet as a tourist, and this stormtrooper gives him grief. And it's so funny because he's like, why are you running? He's like, I'm not. He's like, why are you sweating? We're in a desert. Of course I'm sweating. And you see like this imposing power the stormtrooper is doing on this random citizen, basically. And then we get K2SO, which isn't actually him. He's obviously, you can tell by the voice, he's a little bit different. So he's definitely in the show. So obviously we're going to see how he turns into the robot that we see in Rogue One. But yeah, this stormtrooper gives Andor grief, and then like oppression, like definitely feeling dark times, all of it. And then he gets arrested. And then we get to see how bad all these crimes are, because something from him just walking around, boom, he's got 6 years in prison because the Empire's time their grip. Not to mention, we get Palpatine mentioned about 6 times in this, 5 or 6 times through this episode, which I feel like, well, why so many times in one episode? Well, obviously the word Emperor or Palpatine, but why so many times in this episode amongst everything else do we this one? So surely we're going to get a cameo of some sort. But all in all, it was a good episode. It was slow, but it's showing you that because of the high robbery, things are getting nervous, tighter, and something is going to happen. I keep reminding, there's going to be a season 2. So whatever is going to be the big thing at this end of the season, it's not going to be as big as season 2. So keep that in mind. But please tell me what you think about Star Wars Andor. What do you think about the last episode? Are you just waiting until it all comes out because you don't really like this action aspect? Or are you just enjoying it so much because it's something different? I'm loving Andor because it's something different. Like, don't get me wrong, I love Obi-Wan Kenobi, but just because this is something different and no one's got force powers, there's no lightsabers, this is showing you cold-heartedly what the Empire is doing, how it felt, the dark times, the oppression, all together, and why there needs to be a rebellion. So without further ado, let's get on to Black Adam. And I must say, I went in this with low expectations. The Rock has been attached to this since 2014 or earlier. This had a budget of 195 million. And so the Rock did it. The son of a bitch did it. The movie is not actually that bad. That is actually a solid superhero action flick from start to finish. The Rock is great in it. The CGI is great. The music they use in different scenes is great. Dr. Fate is fantastic. Dr. Fate is how, played by Pierce Brosnan, that's how Doctor Strange should have been. 100% with all of his powers, how he should have been in the Multiverse of Madness. So I can understand the critics on that. Hawkman, MVP of the damn movie, right next to Dr. Fate, besides The Rock. The So what we get obviously is the fact that we see this this city, this country that's under a military oppression, and what we do, obviously, it's I don't know what kind of country I want to talk about it like it is, but it's it's desert country, desert country, and we see the fact that this lady and her brother and her husband are all going to try and find this crown, which we do understand the fact that apparently what we get at the very start is this crown has very evil demonic powers because of this previous king. He wanted to make it so he could rule Earth or rule all over, basically very demon devilish by made material, very in vain of like vibranium, essentially. And they're trying to look for this crown. It's going to obviously change everything. Then we also get the slight backstory of Black Adam that we get which we don't actually spoiler it. We don't actually get the words Black Adam through the entire movie because everyone calls him by his normal name, which you'll find out. You find out straight away, but you'll find out why they say that all the way until the very end. But this, as they're trying to find the crown, they obviously the main character, the mum, she finds out that it all goes terribly wrong. There's no Wong's not in it. Goes all terribly wrong when she tries to find the crown, and she resurrects or releases Black Adam from his tomb, which we didn't know was his tomb at the very start, which sets on the course of this entire movie where Black Adam tries to realize what kind of world is he in. He tears through the military so quickly. He tears through the military, and a beautiful music sound is fantastic. The slow motion, you should have seen it. All the slow motion in this movie would have made Zack Snyder proud. He would have been, oh, it's beautiful. So much slow motion in this movie. Oh my God. He would have just melted in this movie. But so tears through the military, and because he tears through the military, he alerts the Justice League. Oh no, the Justice Society. Sorry, I was going to say Justice League, but it's the Justice Society. Which we got Dick Fate, we got Hawkman, we got Atom Smasher, and Wind. Oh, I forgot her name. Wind something. Totally, it's just escaped me. So no, we don't know anyone at this point that we've seen before besides Amanda Waller, still played by Viola Davis. She's still in it, and she basically tells them that you need to go. I haven't gone in depth about the Hawkman comics, but I didn't realize that he was utterly filthy rich and basically in a giant X mansion and has an X-wing that also seems to come from his garden and comes out. Yes. As he assembles this team, they go after Black Adam to try and control them. So the movie starts like that. Obviously, there's going to be fights. The action is good. It's fantastic. And this movie really goes on what it is to be a hero. What do you need to be a hero? And what sets aside you being a villain? This is the main thing for the entire movie. But Dwayne Johnson does a fantastic job as playing this character. It doesn't feel like something else he's played before. He doesn't have a lot of lines, but everything he does say, it makes a point. Obviously, there's some jokes here and there, but it makes a point. He's probably one of the people that doesn't talk as much, but his actions speak louder than words. His super suit is fantastic. All the suits in this Dr. Fate suit is fantastic. Pierce Brosnan played the shit out of that character. I just couldn't believe it at the end of this movie. As this all action, Black Adam with his kid. The kid tries to teach him all about his history, what he means to the people, and then we also find out how Black Adam got his powers. Now we thought it was the wizards, the same wizards from Shazam, same wizard from Shazam as 2, to keep the connection. We thought it was the wizards that gave him his power, but it's actually his son. It is a beautiful story on how he got his powers, how His son was actually the leader. His son was the one who tried to do the revolution against the king. Unfortunately, he died for it, but he gave his powers to his father, and then he died. So the wizards didn't get to pick Black Adam, which I did like the twist right at the end. Spoiler alert, as you all know, I did like that twist. It wasn't expecting that, I will be honest. And then obviously he agrees the fact that he will, once he's realized that he might be a threat to the world, he's not a hero. They agreed to obviously put him under, go to sleep, and he will not become Black Adam again. However, as you all know, that's not how it's going to happen. The dick cousin or friend of the mum and the son, he's the one who wanted the crown. He gets the crown, puts it on, and becomes essentially like a devil, really, with all these powers. The Justice Society can't stop him. So Dr. Fate uses his abilities to wake up Black Adam. He comes to the party, and another fantastic action piece. And we get this awesome line from Dwayne Johnson, about to kill the bad guy, goes, "Tell him that the man in black sent you." And then boom, baby. That's how it all ends. And they defeat the devil guy, but all the action, all CGI, and all both action set pieces. So we get Black Adam versus the villain. We get hero versus hero, villain versus hero. It does fantastic. Everyone's powers, Atom Smasher, the Wind Girl, all of their powers are on show, and they portray them fantastically. I didn't feel like someone didn't get enough screen time. They showed everyone's powers very well. Atom Smasher, I got really big Deadpool vibes. I was like, yeah, as soon as you put on the mask, I'm like, I want Deadpool 3 already. But overall, from start to finish, it is a solid action flick. It's a solid superhero movie. I will come back to watch this 110%. I will come back to watch this over Shazam. This was a lot better than Shazam. The Rock, I have to give him props. He's done it. He's 100% done it. And if this is what DC's on the right track with The Rock and James Gunn. This, ladies and gentlemen, I can tell you, this is the hope you've been looking for in DC. This is the changing of the guard, because we got Henry Cavill right at the end. Back as Superman. Men of Steel 2 is apparently in the works. We're looking for a rise right now. And obviously we're going to get Black Adam 2, who will most likely go over Shazam. And you know how good it was to see Superman again on the big screen. The crowd didn't react much to that we saw last night, but it was so good seeing him. It was so good seeing him in the suit, the blue. Don't get me wrong, I like the black suit, but seeing the red and blue suit is fantastic. And them two having a fight, take my money. This is it. This is the excitement I want to see in DC. This is what I want to see. It was quality. This is what DC should be. Just like that meme from Avengers 2 with Cap and Quicksilver. It's like, oh, is this the DC? This is what DC should be. This is what it should be. And not, yes, I will say a couple of negatives is, A, there's a lot of things that make you think of other films, both Iron Man, Black Panther, X-Men, Deadpool. Like, there's a lot of things that make you previous movie tropes. And look, some of the characters, there wasn't a huge character development, but I feel like everyone got enough time to shine for what they needed. I didn't feel like I needed to know more, or I wanted more. I didn't feel a little undeveloped. I feel like everyone got enough time. You got the gist of them and what they're about. But I didn't feel as bad. So I'm not saying this is the best movie of all time. I'm not saying but for DC, this is a solid flick. This is a solid flick, just like Suicide Squad 2. That is a solid flick, is what it needs to be. 100%. So that is my review for Black Adam. You need to go watch it, check in, but tell me, what did you think of it? Did you like it? I think the critics are wrong. Yes, it is not pristine superhero film, but it's still a fantastic journey it's just a nice ride. You need to go check that out. And look, guys, that is my review of Black Adam. I want to say thank you very much for tuning in with these three streams at the same time. We're going to bring this more often. As you would say, please like, share, subscribe, all the fun stuff. DM me if you have any questions. Am I wrong? Do you not like my review? Come fight me. I'm looking at you. Come fight me. Please not physically, just typing in debate, movie debate wise. But look, guys, thank you very much for everyone joining in. Until next time, happy ranting.